I never believed in monsters. Not really. I believed in people. People like me. People who lived by their smarts, and their sharp words, and their ability to bend others to their will. I thought honesty was a weapon, and secrets were just slips waiting to be turned into leverage. That was before I met Draguelia. He came into my life like a shadow, slipping through a crack in my consciousness. That night, the rain slicked the streets and blurred the city into a smeared watercolor of yellow streetlights and whispers. I was sitting at the bar of that dim little rooftop lounge, the one where I liked to go when I wanted the noise of the world to feel distant enough to drown. He was already there when I arrived, pale, almost translucent under the frail, light with slick black hair that seemed woven from midnight itself. His eyes were what caught me first. Orange, not amber, not gold. The kind of orange that burned like a dying star, fierce and unnatural. He had a black leather overcoat with red silk lining that glimmered beneath it. And the beard, sharp, outlined in black, like he had painted it onto his face with a fine brush. He smiled before I sat down. "You wear control like armor," he said, voice smooth as the whiskey I'd been nursing. "Like it's something you never want taken away." I blinked, half charmed, half irritated. "Control is survival," I said, matching his tone. "And survival is expensive." He nodded slowly, as if I'd said exactly what he wanted to hear. But then he started. He didn't ask questions. No, he spoke statements. Open-ended statements. Words planted like seeds, waiting for my guard to lower so the roots could twist inside me. People build their worlds from the faces they want reflected back at them. He said softly, leaning in just enough to catch the faint smell of rain on my coat. I nodded. That sounded like a fortune cookie wisdom line. Sure, but it wrapped around something true in me. We all want to look better through someone else's eyes. He gave me a small smile that didn't reach his glowing eyes. Sometimes those reflections hide the deepest cracks. His gaze held me, and then he gave me another statement. "You're happiest when others look smaller beside you." Something inside me clenched. He didn't ask why or how. He just said it like a fact, a truth I couldn't argue with. I laughed, my voice brittle, but I couldn't stop talking. I like to win. Always have. If they're too big, I make sure they're not. Each of his statements was like that. A shard of glass that cut deeper without asking for permission. Your laughter is an echo designed to unsettle. You collect weaknesses like trophies, but fear your own breaking. You teach people to lie so convincingly. Even you believe it, the mirror scares you. Because it shows what you avoid. You crave admiration so much. You forget what real love feels like. I should have stopped. But with every word, I felt like my secrets were being sipped out of me like poison, one drop at a time. I started confessing things I didn't want him to know. The blackmail emails I'd sent, the friends I'd ruined because their loyalties shifted, the nights I'd used tears to manipulate. He didn't wince or judge. He just smiled with his firelit eyes, as if the truth itself fed him. By the seventh statement, the lighting around us warped. The soft yellow bulbs overhead flickered, shadows stretching long and thin. Suddenly, the comforting hum of the city became distorted, a hum just under my feet, vibrating through my bones. "You mistake obedience for loyalty," he whispered, voice curling like smoke around my ears. I wanted to laugh it off. Yet, my skin prickled, cold fires flickering under my ribs. The room grew colder. The faces around us blurred, turning ghost-like, a murmuring crowd dissolving into whispered regrets. "It's easier to break than to be broken," he said, his tense statement barely audible, as if he spoke to something beyond me. That night, I left feeling unsteady, my breath shaky under the street lamps. The first thing I noticed, the next day, was the mirror in my apartment. It didn't quite reflect the room. My reflection blinked a fraction too late, smiled a moment longer after I stopped. For hours, I couldn't look away from it. My phone began to glitch. Contacts vanished. Messages I hadn't sent flooded my inbox. Photos faded. Faces melting into blurs I couldn't recognize. Callers forgot my voice. Friends, lovers, clients, all disappeared like ghosts. My apartment shifted. Sometimes the door frame stretched taller. Sometimes the ceiling dipped just enough to press on my head like an unwanted thought. I dug into my social media. My followers were gone. My posts unreachable. Even my own reflection seemed thinner, gaunt, eyes burning orange like the man who'd spoken those terrible statements. I tried to leave, but the city twisted in on itself. Familiar streets became labyrinths. Signs changed language. Shop fronts replaced by faceless voids. Once, I swear I saw my own shadow lagging behind, grinning when I did not. Late at night, I heard whispers, like his voice from across the table. Phrases, cutting sharp like knives. The world forgets the mirrors who crack. Days bled into nights. My apartment lights pulsed. Heartbeat rhythms in the dark, as if the walls themselves were breathing. When I stared into the flickering bulbs, I glimpsed his eyes reflected behind me. Reality shattered, piece by piece. I tried to speak to anyone. Phones dropped calls. Doors slammed shut. Empty streets swallowed my footsteps. My voice on video calls was mute, replaced by an unsettling static. I was disappearing. One morning, I stood before that cursed mirror and barely recognized the hollow-eyed woman staring back. Her hands trembled, fingertips tracing the glass as it warped and pulsed like living skin. In that moment, the orange glow blossomed in the reflection, and I heard him. Not asking, not questioning, only stating. His voice was the wind through cracked bones. "You become your secrets once the world forgets your name." I screamed, but the sound didn't reach beyond the walls. He said nothing else. Then he was gone, and I was left to vanish. If you ever find him, listen closely to what he says. Don't answer in words. Answer with silence. Before he finishes, you disappear, because Draguelia hunts not with weapons, but with truth. And truth is the deadliest curse.
Is it true that you only kill bad women and spare the good ones?